Ladies and gentlemen, this is Lions Den with another news and commentary. I will give a shout out to Nicole from Nicole's View. On her Twitter, she tweeted this article, this important article. Now, like I said before, and I told you guys on my videos and my live stream that the gangs in Chicago would never do anything like this, and I still believe that till this day. Now, you see this gun, ladies and gentlemen? This is a gun. This is Trump's gun. I mean, this is a gun that has Trump 45th on it. Now, how many black people or how many gang members do you know carry a gun like that? And this is one of the guns the Chicago police seized over the 4th of July weekend, by the way. As you can see, it says this Glock 19 with President Donald Trump's image emblazoned on the side was one of the 17 guns seized by photos over the weekend in Chicago's South Side. Now, how many black people or how many gang members do you know carrying a gun like that? And that's when I knew right then that the gangs didn't have anything to do with this. And it was white supremacists that, and even Tariq Nasheed tweeted this on his Twitter, warning black people in Chicago that the white supremacist is going to target black people on the 4th of July. So I'm gonna go ahead and read this article right now. It says, and this comes from Newsweek. It says the Chicago Police Department this weekend confiscated a handgun that had the image of President Donald Trump etched into the side. The Glock 19 was one of 17 guns seized by police over the holiday weekend in Chicago's South Side. The confiscated Trump gun had the president's image emblazoned upon stars and stripes along the gun's frame, grip, handle, and rail. The slide that moves back and forth on the top part of the gun had the word Trump 45th. Chicago PD officers made a traffic stop Friday night in the 7300 block of South Venice in the Inglewood area, according to the Chicago Tribune. 4 people were in the car, but none of them were carrying the gun, the report stated. The police department tweeted a photo of the gun along with other seized weapons Saturday night. 8 people were shot in Inglewood on Saturday, among them 4 fatalities. In all, 17 people were killed by gunfire in Chicago over the weekend, including 2 children. Dozens more were wounded by gunfire, the Tribune reported. The president has often been a vocal critic of Chicago's gun violence. 2 weeks ago, Trump criticized Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot and Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker for allowing so much gun violence in the nation's 3rd largest city. Your lack of leadership on this important issue continues to fail the people you have sworn to protect, Trump wrote to the leaders. I am concerned it is another example of your lack of commitment to the vulnerable citizens who are victims of this violence and a lack of respect for the men and women in law enforcement. Trump said the federal government has sent millions of dollars to Chicago in an effort to curb the city's high crime rate, and said the feds are still willing to help public safety in the region. If you are willing to put partisanship aside, we can revitalize distressed neighborhoods in Chicago. Together, Trump wrote late last month after there were 105 people shot on Father's Day weekend, including 15 fatalities. But to succeed, you must establish law and order. The mayor and the governor's office both snipped back at the president, with one saying the letter to them was a political stunt. The people of the state and this nation have unfortunately come to expect his unhinged attempts to politicize tragedy with his predictable and worn-out strategy to distract, said Jordan Aboutier, a press secretary for Pritzker. Aboutier said Trump's letter was a distraction from his long list of failures, especially his response to the deadly coronavirus and nationwide calls for racial justice. Lightfoot tweeted that she didn't want to hear from the White House on leadership. I don't need leadership lessons from Donald Trump, she wrote. And that is the end of this Newsweek article. I was thinking about what Malcolm X said in one of his speeches. How come there's more police and more crime? And he said, why? Maybe because the police are in cahoots with the criminal. I thought about that last speech that Malcolm X is saying, and he says what he said is true, and it happens today. Now, if they, I mean, my question is that, Chicago police deploy 1,500 officers in the high crime rate in the city of Chicago, but yet violence is still happening. That doesn't make any sense, people. If you deploy 1,500 Chicago police officers in high crime areas and violence is still happening, that tells you right there that, something strange in the neighborhood. And then another point, if there was violence in every holiday, why aren't there been arrests? How come people aren't arrested yet, or they didn't solve any crimes, or who was responsible for all the shootings that happen on every holiday? Another strange theory. It's funny, and then they blaming all this on black crime in Chicago, which, again, I told y'all before that the gangs would never do anything like this. If they wanted to get you, they'll get you anytime, any day, not every holiday. So it makes me wonder that, obviously, that it's not black on black crime in Chicago. And I believe what Tariq Nasheed has said on his Twitter, that white supremacists is planning on doing attacks on the 4th of July weekend. And I believe in my heart that's exactly what happened. And that Trump gun, what you see on this screen right now, has a lot to do with it. That white supremacists did carry out those attacks and make it look like black on black crime is happening in Chicago. And yet in Chicago police, I think one media report up there said they already sent 1,500 officers to curb the violence, but the violence still happening on holiday weekend. So I knew when Malcolm X says that it proves that police were in cahoots with the criminal, I believe that's what he meant. And obviously, ladies and gentlemen, they still haven't arrested people that was responsible of the shootings on Father's Day weekend. And I guarantee you right now, they still didn't arrest people here that was responsible of the shootings on the 4th of July weekend. Because if they were black people that's doing this, why aren't they been arrested? Why there's no arrest? So it proves that what Tariq Nasheed was right all along, that white supremacists had a lot to do with this, because you won't see. I mean, if it was a black person that was doing this, it was black on black crime, there would have been more arrests. It would be a lot of arrests. So I knew for a fact that black people didn't do anything like this. So y'all let me know what you think about this Trump gun. As you can see right in this photo right here, we knew right then and there that ain't no black person or ain't no gang member would carry a gun like this, a Trump gun like this. Ain't no way. So y'all and again, I want to give a shout out to Nicole from Nicole's View for the article she tweeted on her Twitter account. So y'all let me know what you think about this. Like, click, subscribe, and remember to click the notification bell for all the news and commentary. With that being said, this Lions in signing off. Deuces.